All right, snow lovers, this is our day. Finally got snow, right? Well, some of you had snow this past weekend, but a lot of us were missed out. I think everyone got something, right? Got something out of this one. I know it's probably not 16 inches of snow shutting down everything that some snow lovers want to have. It was just enough to where, yes, it's not easy to get around travel. Just take it slow is the main thing, but it's at least enough, though, to allow for a beautiful setup. Hold on one second. I got some spammers. I got some spammers in here today. Let's see. Get rid of this one. Get rid of this one. They obviously just do not like snow. I'm convinced. Do I have to block everyone? I think I have to block every one of them. I really should let them on there. If there really were people behind that name, then they would sit there and be tortured listening to me talk about snow and wave country when they probably are living somewhere in Michigan at the moment. Nothing against Michigan. All right. I got everyone cleared out. Let me know if more of them pop in. Please do not click those comments if you were to see them, or you'll get some weird things in the mail. Okay. Several things to cover. Obviously, you're already doing some of the reporting now on the snowfall. Appreciate that. I'll cover that in just a second. Obviously, we've had the snow that started last night in different waves. Where we stand now in snow, I'll explain what that idea, plus, as I alluded to in the tease or the headline to what's coming our way, we have other elements that we need to be aware of still. We're not out of this yet. That's why the winter weather advisory is not done until this evening. And then we have a whole other advisory you got to worry about as we get into late tonight into your Saturday. Real quick look at the snowboard. Not exactly exciting. For the first time in a while, it's actually relaxed. All right. It's just that brief mix north that could still happen Tuesday morning. It's minor. But anytime we come out of these kind of situations, I don't always feel comfortable completely erasing it off the chart altogether. But it's a very minor issue. But no doubt next week is about warmer weather and soggy weather coming our way. So the snowboard has a chance to take a break. Are we done? Are we done with the snowboard for the season? Oh, no. No, we are not. But every once in a while, it's nice to get a vacation. And it does deserve one. Here are the stats in Louisville for the snow. The past 24 hours, and again, this is going to get an update here in about 3 hours from now. But as of this morning, 2 inches of snow fell, putting our season total at 3.5. We are now about 10 inches or so away from getting to the normal level for this time of the year. Other snow reports that were coming in, and this is not everyone. I get that. I just wanted to throw out some of the numbers I've seen. Trimble County, 3.5. Clark County, 3.3. Nelson at 3. Harrison County, Indiana, 2.5. Bullitt County, nearing 2.5. If you have totals you want to give, by all means, you can type them in the chat there, and we'll see them as we go along here through the list. More importantly, though, if you're able to do so and you don't want to deal with the cold and wind coming our way, your reports are very helpful, especially video or snow. Any way you can arrange how the snow looks in your yard, something to give it an idea of the depth. Obviously, a lot of people use the rulers, but be creative. Have fun with some of these photos, and you submit them through the Wave Weather app. It's easy to do that. You can send them the weather side or the good photo side. Either way, we'll see them, and they will make it perhaps on air on the news and on the weather side of the newscast. So make sure to send it that way. Do not try to send it to me on email or on Facebook. I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to see it, or neither will anybody on the team, because we're just so busy with other things. This is the best way. We have one spot that they appear in. Hold on a second. Got another spammer. Hold on. Boom. Got him. All right. So because if you want to take pictures, by the way, of the snow accumulation you've got now, you better hurry up and do it. Because we have another issue that's developing that's about to take over, and that is our friend, the wind, which at times with this snow and wind combination is leading to very low visibility. But it is going to look like a blizzard. It won't be a blizzard, but it'll look like one at times today, because this has been such a dry, fluffy snow that the wind that is likely to get over 30 miles per hour, maybe even close to 40 miles per hour, is going to take all that dry snow and just blow it everywhere. It's going to drift it even. You got 2 or 3 inches of snow. We don't usually talk about snow drifts, but it will create some drifts in your backyard against your house. You will see that. But it will also carry it over the roadways. Now, most of the treated roads look good in the area. That's the good news. They've been hard at work all night, but temperatures have also been on their side, upper 20s to near 30. Now we're seeing the drop happen. Salts and all the chemicals in general they try to use to combat frozen roads starts to become less and less effective as we head into this afternoon, evening, and you take the snow that's on the side of the road and you blow it back onto the road, and then you see the challenge. So they're going to be constantly having to reapply all the chemicals in the salt to keep the roads going on a clear side. So the road crew is going to be busy over the next 24 hours. Please give them the space they need to do this safely. If you don't need to travel, then don't. Let them take care of it. Some of you have no choice and you have to. Totally get it, but that's why they're there, is to make sure you can get to your spot. Side roads, your neighborhood roads, sometimes are usually handled by contractors, but if the city does eventually work its way through there, it probably be one of the last places they'll get to, just because they've got a job to do to try to keep the main roads clear with the changing temperature profile and the wind speed this afternoon. That is going to be a challenge. All the international, we know at least a couple of flights that were stuck on the tarmac because they just we can't take off in this yet. There's a lot of de-icing that's got to be done, but when you get visibility gets too low, they're just not going to risk it. You got to be able to see to taxi to get you to point A to point B. So that's something that we'll be watching in the next few hours, especially. There's a lot of travel delays could be developing here. Wind gust right now has been around 26 miles per hour in Louisville. 23 is the gust at Fort Knox. And I've seen a few stations west between Louisville and Evansville have been about 34 to 38 miles per hour. Yikes. But here's the other bad side. I already mentioned the blowing snow and the strong winds, but don't forget the temperature is dropping. We're down to 24. We dropped 4 degrees in 20 minutes. 19 into Corden, 14 in Bedford. Now, the plus side of this is the snow's not going anywhere. Well, I mean, it's going to blow around, but it's not going to melt. But you take in that wind with these current numbers, and your wind chill is now in the single digits in Louisville. It feels like 8 outside, 1 in Paoli, 2 into Jasper, 0 in Owensboro. We will likely stay 0 to 5 above this afternoon for wind chills, and we're going to go below 0 for sure as we head into tonight. Visibility will be another issue to watch out for. Right now, it's not bad at 2.25 or 2.5 at Ollie, but at times it's been dropping down to under 1 mile, and that will be some of the blowing snow that'll happen. It won't be consistent, though, so it's a little hard to forecast that, as it will fall the wind gust as they breeze through wave country. All right, here's a look at the last 18 hours of the snowfall. Let me reset it again. And you'll be able to see last night we had the southern wave across central Kentucky. It expanded and built to the northwest. Boy, the models did a great job on building that backwards and right into the Louisville metro. So it nailed that part. So I was impressed. I think the NAM and the Herb all did well. The GFS actually did quite well as overall. The Euro, I don't think, did as good as the others, to be honest. Either way, you saw the snow band again moving across southern Kentucky. Then when it connected to the second low that moved in, it's moving in this morning, you had that back building of the snow at Blossom over Indiana and Louisville. And then the actual wave or clipper, if you will, moved right over us at rush hour this morning. And that really gave a lot of you, a lot of your totals you're typing in. It gave a lot of you 1.5 out of that alone. So that's decent because the snow ratios went sky high just because it's a colder air mass now compared to when the first round was here for last night. Show what the radar looks like now. Not as many blues. It's more of a grayish and the white color indicating a much lighter snowfall, but there will still be at times where it may try to do a lot of accumulation because it is such a dry snow now. But it really won't notice it as much as you did earlier because as soon as the snowflake touches the ground, it's going to be picked up by the wind and moved on to your neighbors. So spots to watch right now: Fern Creek, Mount Washington, maybe heading toward Taylorsville Lake if this aims right. You may get a little burst of at least moderate snow. The flakes are getting smaller. That's a sign of the Arctic air coming in. Larger flakes like we had this morning were a sign of more of a southern influence of the snowfall. But now we got the smaller, finer flakes, Arctic flakes almost kind of feel to it. And we're going to see more of that. It's going to be hard to get rid of snow in this kind of Arctic air environment. Usually flurries, snow showers can develop, fall apart, and redevelop all the way through this afternoon. Very, very common to see that around here. But additional accumulations are real minor. It's more about just impact as far as being able to see with these kind of snow showers moving through. So the winter weather advisory officially expires at 7 p.m. tonight. Could they extend it? It's possible. If there's still a lot of reports of slick roads, they could. But since there's nothing else as far as precipitation falling, they may not go to that level. Back in the day, there used to be an advisory called a traveler's advisory for situations like that, but those do not exist anymore. So we'll let the Weather Service make that decision. Either way, you guys know. You guys know about the snow, you know about the cold. you know about tricky travel. We have had a good week now of training for this, right? So we're becoming pros. I mean, Michigan would be proud of us. I'm not sure why I'm picking on Michigan today. Wind chill advisory is out. Now, last time the wind chill advisory only went to Louisville for the last Arctic blast. This one goes all the way down to Tennessee and beyond. So this is a widespread wind chill advisory. Kicks in at 11 o'clock tonight, expires at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Now that we have at least a couple of inches of snow on the ground, a couple of things to watch here will be our actual numbers. How low do they drop? Because then that will influence the wind chill value at the same time. Now, there will be clouds lingering tonight. I don't see it's going clear. And therefore, I don't think we need to adjust. We have a 6-degree low tonight. I don't think that's going to be adjusted yet. The wind chill, with that idea, still has a chance to get to about 10 to 15 below zero. Tomorrow night, we do clear. I do think tomorrow night will be colder for actual temperatures. Could even hit zero or even below. It's possible. But the wind chill will not be as brutal because the wind will relax. But at that point, who cares? If it's 0 or -2 for an actual number, that's cold enough. Cold enough. Well, you should care, though, because 10 below zero is about the benchmark for advisories, because if your skin is exposed for about 30 minutes, you can get frostbite. So take care of each other, your pets. Please be careful. If you lose ways to get or a way to get heat, period, find somewhere to go to get into a warming shelter and center. There's a lot of those we've been talking about on our website. A lot of communities and churches are opening their doors up. Take advantage of that, please. You saw all the fires we've had lately. It's hopefully not see a repeat of that with this round of Arctic air that's coming into play. Okay. Here's the numbers again. I know it may be hard to read. Let me try to do this a little closer. So we got 12 below wind chill, 14 below wind chill in Seymour. And then as we head into Sunday, again, still very cold, but the wind chills are not as bad. I'm trying to sugarcoat it. At that point. So any questions on the wintry side of things here for today and the wind chill? I want to make sure I get that covered before I move on to any other topics. I love all your snow reports, guys. You guys are great on this. Tyler, thanks for all your photos, by the way, Tyler. You do a great job. How many consecutive hours have we been below freezing? Well, Louisville went up to 35 yesterday, so we reset the clock. So it's probably been 18 now. Yeah, we reset the clock for Louisville. Sorry, I know it's not fun. Otherwise, it would have been probably 130 hours, something like that. Hey, Wayne, how are you doing? I'm glad you got some snow, buddy. Any chance that plume off the lake reaches us? We'll look at that. The streamers is what I like to call those that come in from Lake Michigan. This one tends to drop down and then it bends, but I'll show you what Wayne's talking about in just a second. As that is something, it's possible, but right now it looks like it's going to stay for more of an issue for the Cincinnati area. Travis, polar vortex coming back in mid-February? Possibly. There's not as much solid data on that compared to what this one was on its attack for mid-January. So that part of the forecast is a bit more of a challenge. We're still working on that. I will look more at it next week if I'm not buried in other weather issues that develop. But keep an eye on it, Travis. I know you are. Elizabeth, Indiana, is that right? 3 inches of snow there. Jedediah, you got a snow NATO in Middletown there. Jedediah sees a snow NATO, by the way, outside his window every day. He's teasing. He thinks I don't know he's teasing, but he's teasing. I know your family, buddy. I know your family. All right, 3 inches in Floyd's Knobs from Tracy. Frankfurt has about 4 inches of snow. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so everyone's got about the same amount. It was actually very even on this snowfall. I would say we could have done a snow map of 2 to 4 area wide and probably would have been fine. But we knew there was going to be at least the southwest side. How much would that freezing drizzle and that sleet get involved to try to cut down some totals? That was the biggest challenge we had on this one. Otherwise, the snowfall part remained fairly consistent. It was a matter of shifting around a bit on the higher totals versus west, but I think overall it was much more broad. And really, it was thanks to that second wave. If we didn't have that wave this morning, well, it would not have been an impressive snow for a lot of you. I can say that much. Okay, let me show you what Wayne was talking about, and then we'll get back to the next topic here. We are in a cold flow there, of course, across the Great Lakes into the Ohio River Valley. So let me, hold on one second. I got to switch the radar over. this little pocket of Arctic area is actually relatively small compared to the last one, but it's still very potent, as you guys know. All right, here's the plume that Wayne's talking about coming right off Lake Michigan. It will likely keep streaming south, and then the wind flow it gets stronger over Kentucky from the west. So more than likely, as soon as it tries to hit toward us, it's going to take a turn and curve more toward the Cincinnati area. The only area that would maybe see a bit of a buffer zone on that turn could be Madison and Carrollton. We'll watch it. Maybe Jennings County. If that turns too late, there would be just a plume of some light snow and a very narrow band. We'll monitor that because it's all based on the wind flow. And right now we have to go by modeling for that, a lot of short-term modeling. And small changes on that make a difference. You see how things go with lake effect snow in the Great Lakes. But great question, Wayne. Appreciate that. We're watching it, but right now everything keeps pointing to it having a bend to it with that such a strong west wind that we've got. So what's next, guys? Well, I'll tell you what, Sunday actually won't be a bad day. Sunday we'll get closer to freezing. I don't know if we'll hit freezing, but Sunday will be sunny. Now, here's the thing. I want to mention this real quick. I tease everyone about it every year, but it's so true. This reminds me of 2014 when we had a period of cold and snow. Everyone's car became covered in salt, and everyone wants the car wash the next sunny day. I believe the car wash wait line was 2.5 or 3 hours that day, and I tried different ones. It was all the same. But the thing is, it was a warm, sunnier pattern that was developing, so it was fair. Everyone wanted to get the salt off the car. In this case, yes, you're going to be inclined to want to do that. I get it. But we do have quite a bit of rain coming our way for next week, multiple rounds. The rain will help on clearing off your car. Now, the first day probably will not be a dramatic improvement because it will rain, but it will rain and get mixed in with the residue on the roadways and splash back up on your windshield again. So it'll take a good 1 or 2 cycles of that rain to wash not only your car, but also wash all that grime off the roadways. And even then, it's not going to be perfect on your car. You eventually will have to go and get that taken care of at a car wash, but you will have to wait because this is a very rainy pattern coming into play. So yes, if you want to wash your car on Sunday or Monday, you can, but you're not going to have it look pretty for very long. Just a word of caution. I don't know if you want to sit in those long lines for no reason or not, but that's just my opinion on it because I've seen it happen many, many times. Here's Tuesday. Again, I went past the chance where we could see a mix right there, right on the leading edge Tuesday morning. If we're just cold enough, maybe something wintry, but it's minor. We're going to warm up. Boom, boom, boom. It's rain, and then it's multiple rounds of rain that come into play with the storm track right over us. So severe weather will stay south. We'll be in the path of more of the rain side, and the snow will stay north. There is a chance for 1 to 2 inches of rain out of this as we head into the next week. That is going to be concerned for obviously low-lying areas and flooding because of the snow melt, frozen ground. It won't thaw quickly. So a lot of runoff from the rain, a lot of hydroplane issues in the roadways, and potholes. Get ready for potholes to really show up on the roads here, guys. After all the salt warming up on the temperature, then we add a lot of rainfall that can wash away some of the blacktop especially that has already been cracked from this. It washes it out, and then the potholes become massive, and we have to deal with that until they are able to repair them, which with a rainy pattern is going to be a challenge. So travel is not exactly the best. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, I promise. It's just going to be not the best of travel, whatever element we want to pick here for a good week and a half or so, because we keep having changing weather, and that's hard on our infrastructure and hard on us too. All right, so there you go. That's the way things are trending. I thought someone said I'm going to go out there and play in the snow. Yeah, if you want to get out there and enjoy the snow and take some photos with the kids, most are out of school, take a picture with the dog while it runs out real fast. I totally understand that. But I would do that. If you haven't done it right, do it now because it is going to get much colder this afternoon and windier, and you're going to open that door up. You're like, you know what? I'll just Photoshop it because that's usually how I'm going to be on this. All right, that's where we stand for today, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks, as always, for all your reports. Get those photos in. Again, we really want to see that light up and be creative, have fun with that. I'm going to go over some of this wind data, wind chill data that is rolling in for this midday hour. I'll have more coming up at 11 a.m. I will see you then. Happy snow day, everybody.